Hey, how's it going, guys? Thank you guys for checking me out. Um, just recognize I'm looking a little rough, but that's okay. We're just here to talk basketball. Not a big deal. I'm not gonna try to make anything bigger than it is. Um, so we had the interview with Thibs. He made a lot of great points. Um, there's a lot of things that he's talked about that I agree with him. And there's also stuff that I actually want to get into it because I've been saying this. I've been echoing some of the stuff that he's been saying, and I'm like, wow, he actually said that, and I'm like, wow, I've been saying the same thing. So I kind of want to share my opinions with you guys about that, and it has to do with the veterans getting veterans in the Knicks roster, which I don't think is going to be easy. You have a fan base who doesn't want any veterans, or if they want veterans, they don't want them to be any good. You have a fan base that they're not pro free agency. If it's like an Austin Rivers, that's considered a great signing, top level signing. If it's for Payton, they don't like him personally, but it's a great signing. If it's and so forth and so forth. I'm a big fan of Alec Burks. He's a great backup shooting guard, but for the Golden State Warriors, he was really good for the Golden State Warriors. So when I heard that we got him, I'm like, okay, that was a really smart sign, as well as known as Noel. But like, if we can get another one, like somebody who can score 15, 20 points, I'm not gonna be upset with the front office or somebody that can help the team win. But apparently, a lot of people who are not pro winning these days, we have a lot of people who really just have a huge tank philosophy. And I've heard that. I've heard the tank philosophy with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm like, all right, cool, like whatever. I'm saying? Tanking is a losing culture. It's no good. I get it. Like, what's the big deal? I don't get what's the bro. When we did it here, when we doing it here, bro, that thing is a disease, bro. It's a huge disease, and it's hard to get rid of it. It's hard to get rid of it. It's a reality that right now I'm like, yo, that's a real thing. Like, people swear by it. Right now, it's gonna be hard to get out to get out of tanking because, bro, a lot of I see it, you listen to a lot of fans. You go to a lot of Nick channels. That you're like, okay, great, we got RJ Barrett. That's how I wonder what he's gonna say to help us win games. And they're not trying to win games, bro. They're not trying to win games. They are trying to tank. They are trying to tank. They are trying to win 15 games, 20 games. If we go if we play 10 games, that we want to go 2-8. That's showing that keeps us in the lottery kind of conversations. And you think, like, as sometimes you bring up a good, it could be Anthony Davis, it could be this person, that person, and they'll say that's a bad trade. We don't we don't need him. He doesn't fit our timeline. It's not good enough. We should look elsewhere. And it's this. When you see it, when you listen to more Nick fans, finding any excuse not to bring a good player, finding any excuse to create a reason to tank. That's when you start recognizing, like, yo, this thing is like a vulture, bro. Like, you can't have don't try to talk trades. Don't try to talk about winning basketball these days because people take stuff like that personal. You should be happy with what you got. Um, you shouldn't be looking at other people, other teams' players, and it's not like every team drafts perfect. That's why you go to free agency, and whoever's a free agent, if they're available and we have the contract, if we have the space, I'm gonna sign them. That's a lot of stuff that RJ said that he's talking about winning, and RJ's talking about winning games and going to the playoffs. And with a player like his talent, listen, my man, if I could get him to the playoffs, I'm gonna get him to the playoffs. And I don't, I don't truly mind being drafting in the 15, 16 range, 17 range. And a lot of people don't want to do that. People want to be in the lottery. It's hardcore. It's a hardcore conversation. But so now I just want to play you this video on YouTube, and you can listen to Thibs talk about what I'm talking to you about, so that it's not just me going crazy. Even Thibs will start explaining it to you.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for doing this. There was obviously some more polished and veteran players out there in the trade market and free agency. You kind of tell us the strategy here with building this roster and why. I mean, you don't have a player that's over 30 years old. I mean, can you just take us through the strategy here and what you thought building this roster?
Well, there's obviously a couple of different roads you can go down, and I think if you study it and you look at how teams are built, and I went through this in Minnesota. And obviously the draft is critical, free agency is critical, player development is critical, and trade opportunities are critical. And when you look back at Philadelphia and what they went through, and obviously they went through a lot of losing, and they were able to get Embiid and Simmons. But then when they added their veterans, that's when they took off. So I think you look at all four avenues and you try to build your plan that way. I thought we had a well thought out plan, and we took advantage of some things that we thought would be good for us, but we wanted to be disciplined, and we were. So there'll be other opportunities as we go forward, but we concentrate on the players that we have here, concentrate on our improvement, and hopefully good things will happen.
Our next question comes from Steve.
Okay, so there's that fair use. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. I'm just trying to echo what Tom Thibodeau said. But, you're hearing it from Thibs himself about, some people might even just ignore what he said. They just, they hear what they want to hear, what they didn't like, they'll just, cut it out. They say, you know what? We don't want to be like the Philadelphia 76ers anyways. We want to keep tanking, and we want to continue to get more and more and more and more. You got 2 picks. Why you need to tank? Like, 2 picks is 2 good players. It's a deep draft. Why don't you just get 2 good players and on top of that, get some veterans? But it's a real war. It's a real war with this tanking, and I don't know. It's something that you got to deal with right now. So I don't know what else to say about that. All I can say is I'm starting to really see that a lot in the channels, and now I'm kind of focusing on my own channel. That makes me say, you know what? I'm in my own channel. I'm in my own lane. I'm not pro tanking. It was okay. Once we had RJ, I think it was, and especially with this draft, like with Obi, like that's it. Like I'm like, and we got Mitchell Robinson. That's good enough. That's more than enough already. So we have some good role players. I would like veterans, right? I'm gonna speak for myself because sometimes I have to like create a channel where I have to agree with what I say, and some people may agree with me. I know a lot of people won't, because a lot of people just really want to tank. So it's a real, tanking is like people have tunnel vision with that. It's like it's tanking or nothing, and I don't even know what blueprint they're following. They just think that tanking is everything, and that's the only way to win. But to all those Nick channels, salute, all the best. Hopefully the Knicks will get out of this rebuild sooner than later. I anticipate sometime this year they're gonna make some moves that's gonna get them out of the rebuild, and hopefully some of these fans wake up, man. I like to see other fans start talking about winning basketball, right? Playoff basketball. I like to listen to playoff basketball. It took Jordan 3 years to he had to really work on it. It took him 3 years. It took him 6 years. 3 of them years was in the playoffs, and he was struggling. And people just want to just say we're gonna tank forever, and then when we go to the playoffs, we're gonna win the championship kind of mentality. And I don't really know. I can't explain other people's mentality, but I am excited with the idea of having RJ Barrett go to the playoffs. I know it's not going to be easy. We'll still have draft picks. If it might take him 3 tries, to go to the finals and have a chance to win a championship. It might take 2 seasons, 3 seasons, or 4 seasons. But I definitely want the Knicks to be as a contender and playoff, and I like to see a playoff berth. All right, guys. I don't want to take up all your time. Hopefully, I made a lot of sense for you guys. All right. Peace out.